joining me for not Puppy Hammer, contact staff. So, hope you join me for my staff video already. If you haven't, it might be a good refresher for control mechanisms. I highly recommend being able to control the staff fairly well with your hands before going into contact. You can take the other route of going straight into contact, no control, dialing down slower, starting slow. I didn't do it, so I'm not going to recommend it, but follow your path. Contact to me is not holding. And so this is a hold. This is a hold. It's more allowable in contact in a sense, because we're learning other control spots. So here, are nice new control spots. That are a sense of holding, but are not in the same sense of this. Where I have full control of this if I'm holding it. I do not have full control of this if I'm in that position. Until I do. Okay, so two hand. Start right from the beginning. Okay. Further apart you are, the easier it's going to be. The closer you come in, the more difficult it's going to be. That's why one hand is more difficult. Okay? We're going to do hand calls too. So when you put it too far on the back side, it's going to flip over and you're going to grab it. We're going to put it on the other side. Just put it right on that edge. Let it fall. Or start practicing that balance. It comes to the inside, front side hand call. Inside, front side. Ooh, body call. And depending on where you are, you're getting to this level of staff. A staff is poi, all of the props, depending on what they're made of, even if they're made of soft materials, when they're moving quickly, it's about being secure with your prop and owning your prop, because they are in a sense weapons, and we want to be using them as dance objects. We have to be hyper aware of our space, so when we're practicing around people, when we're practicing moves that we're semi out of control in, we're doing calls to our body first, at any extreme. When we're alone, and we don't have anything to break, let it fly, do what you want. But care for the others when you're using these. That way we keep the sacred nature of them up. Alright, so single hand, just hold it. A lot of balance is just endurance. Letting your body figure out what it's got to do. So give it a chest bump, walk with it, hand stop, hand start, hand stop, go under it, and come out. Elbow, elbow hand calls. And this is so if I'm doing a balance and it starts coming away from me, I have a hand call. Hand call. Okay, some of this can restrict your actual ability to drop into the flow, or it's a restricted mind in contact because I go into those hand calls so frequently. So finding those spaces where you can feel comfortable to not do that, not catch it, let it drop, is really great. And starting slow, so we're not doing those power moves. So another version of this is up on the chest with a little bit of a back lean. And then we can start taking our arms away, seeing if we can keep it on the chest. That might be a little strenuous on your front nervous system, depending on where your flexibility is at. So our back, we tend to be here more. We can place it on our back, find that spot where it wants to stay, and come into our stillness, and then come into our motion. That drops into stillness. Try trying to get new feelers on your back. And adjusting with dips of the chest, rolls of the shoulders, lifts of the arm in relaxed manners to not accelerate energy that's going astray, but to calm it down and bring it back to still points. Okay, flipping from the back of the wrist to the front of the wrist allows for these overhead motions and face shots. So we're coming around, come up and over, and into a tuck. And this is more chi rolling. There's another prop called a helio staff, dragon staff, where the weight is extended out of it and it makes it so it rolls much slower. And so when you're chi rolling it and pumping energy into it, it's responding a bit kinder than when you're doing it with a traditional staff. So you can do it, I was just doing it. You're trying not to do grabs and you're trying to let it roll to different spots instead of slide. But in the starter of contact, getting that slowness down, and the starter of the chi roll is getting the weight extended out from the staff. There'll be another video for that specifically. Will make those chi rolls a lot more manageable at first. We also have double point placements. So I have 2 points, and I go and I place. And when I have a second point, I can release one of the other points. I come on, and my back has 2 points. Here I'm in one, just in my neck, so it's really balancing there. But if I can get it to transfer to my back properly, I can get it to place onto one, and then to place on the second. So now on both of my traps, and they trap that energy up there. I can use them to hold and stabilize as if I'm holding with 2 hands. And then I have my elbows to grab the energy and contain it if it starts rolling away. And if it gets too far away, the arms come back into their wings. And then rotation here gives the potential for movement, where when we're still, to make it move, we have to tilt an angle and get it to roll. But if we can give it a bit of torque and inertia, and then we stop, it will want to do its own motion. Okay, so I'm going to show another move, a matrix, that I don't quite have yet, but I will show the move of how I train it with hand control, so you can start training it as well with me. So the matrix is from the movie, and it's when we are coming into our bridge, coming up and back through. Okay, and we're going to start it here. So as we come up, now if I do it on this side, like I just did it, so it'll mirror what I just did. I bring my back hand back, and so now this is my up point. We always have a level spot on our body that's up, and we're trying to guide the staff to that spot. So we're up, we're getting our head out of the way, and it's coming under us, and we're ducking. And it's coming behind us, that's on our back, and we're coming back up and through, and then when we hit the arm, it would rise up and to the palm, rotate to the other palm, come back down, and we dodge it, pass it through, bring it up, and we can just keep it on the chest. We don't need to bring it up the body. Or up the arms. And then it's the arm push that's doing it. It's just doing the motion. And then instead of having your up arm bend down to catch it, try to primarily stabilize it with the down arm. The up arm's up, we're coming through, back around, coming to the back, and it's free. Okay, coming down to the back. I'm going to grab it, transfer, bring it up, arm up, get down, last moment, grab, transfer, bring it up, let it go, and get it up. And then practice both ways. Now we can practice the arm raise by letting it come down our arm and doing a back of the hand call into a spin. And then letting it come down and into our neck. So it's spinning out, come out of the wrists, coming down and onto our neck. And then up to the palm. Okay, and then we could also duck here and bring it right up. Miss. Okay, so you can see where things start getting flyy because you're not in control of them. Really watch those spaces. Let's see if there's anything else. Maybe like rolls over the palm. So as we're on the hand, we can flip it over our wrist and onto our hand, and then flip it to the other side. And we're trying to not have it jump over our hand. We're just trying to have it roll right over the top. Okay, and then is around the wrist. So as it comes down, there's angel rolls where we're praying through it. We hit our prayer hands. And it's transitioning across the back of the hands. And to the other side. While trying to maintain those prayer hands. Okay, so these are all moves to extend. I like to focus in my traditional staff flows. Where the contacts, I also like to do the chi rolls with the dragons, or with these, where that still motion is still not something I've honed in entirely, but it's a great addition to the flow complex when you know small parts of all flows. So that way you can go from a still complex where you're in a calm, serene motion, into a quick motion, into a toss, into a contact, and then back into a still motion. So it really just starts depending on what your flow patterns are of how you start using these more advanced concepts and integrating them into your system. You can become a master of contact and work hours and hours and exclusively in this realm, and it looks beautiful when people do that. You can be a master of speed and work hours and hours in trying to keep your speed and your props moving as quickly and unrestrained as possible. And then as you branch into these other dynamics, you hone your skills. For me, flow is a way to practice movement in general, to move and play, enhance skills, less of a performing aspect, and more of a way to utilize a moment with music, dance, and props. Because as you learn how to utilize props, catches, spins, twists, foot placement while you're doing your flows, you're learning a bunch of dynamic neurological skills that are enjoyment based. And if you start honing it towards a profession, if you are in alignment with that profession in a wonderful way and it's bringing massive amounts of joy, continue it. Keep doing them. But finding flow movements and movement aspects that are just, as they call them, autotelic, for the sake of doing them themselves, because you enjoy doing them and enjoy the experience of trying new aspects of movement dynamics that you might not have tried before. Seeing where the prop also lives that you may not have thought about, and seeing how those different segments of the props can interact with each other just from an experimental bias, a way of looking. So play, enjoy, take on the staff, take on the contact. All of these props correlate. So look back at the other props. That way you know how to treat a staff like a poi. So you know how to treat a puppy hammer like a staff. So you can take multiple props and learn how to weave them together. See where it goes wrong, see where it goes right. And explore the sacred fun that's within these simple objects that lay all around us. My first staff was a nice piece of wood I found in the woods. My first juggling balls were stones, baseballs. First poi, socks with socks in them. You can have all of these already at your home. A broom is a great beginner staff. Sweeping your floor. You're already practicing staff. Now you're just gonna move it into a dynamic action of sweeping. Oof, missed. And I really recommend those hand calls so you can get a grasp on all these things and the juggling. That way when things get real intense, you can see where they are and set up your different blocks to keep things away from your body. Enjoy the process, have fun, start from the basics, rise up, practice, repeat, and repeat your basic moves over and over and over again, so you know where they are and how they interact with you, because depending on what your energy is like to day, the way these basic moves will behave will be different. And the way you'll be able to calm down, handle speed, handle pattern recognition may change. Practicing them day in and day out, practicing them repeatedly throughout a week or a month, occasionally, will allow your body to keep these activities, keep your balance, keep your patterns, keep your memory, and keep its functionality. Hope you enjoy. Ah, missed it, but it's always there for another try. See me next time. Enjoy the flow.